On the travel show,
Hello!
we're face to face with beluga whales and their table manners in Iceland.
Oh, there's another little bat.
We meet the women crossing the US on 2 wheels. And I'm in Berlin taking in the spooky sights of an abandoned communist-era theme park. So spooky. We're starting off in Iceland this week. It's one of the best places in the world to see whales in their natural habitat. But it's also now providing a home for a pair of these amazing mammals who've spent their lives in captivity, but are now looking forward to their retirement in an environment that's closer to their natural home. And Kat has been to meet them.
Here, just off the coast of Iceland, we are searching. Because apparently, there is something in the water. Not just one of them either. There are 23 species of them.
So every now and then someone points in a direction, the whole boat just rushes over trying to see what's going on. And then someone points something in another direction, so we all rush over there. It's like playing whack-a-mole. You just never know where things are going to pop up.
Whale watching boats cast off to sea each day in Iceland in the hope of catching a glimpse of these mammals.
You've got a great spot up here.
It's the best one on the boat. Minke 2 o'clock. All right, and it is a minke whale that we have at our 2 o'clock.
Wow!
Nice.
How do you even try and find whales in such a vast area? What are the telltale signs?
Telltale sign, the easiest one is their body. So when that black body comes up and you see the triangle-shaped dorsal fin, but also the blows. So just when you see that breath, you know which species you have that you're approaching.
Really, just from the breath, you can tell what species the whale is.
It is, yeah.
That's incredible. How often do you see whales on these tours?
We basically see them almost every trip that we go out. In the end, it's the food. We have really, really nutrient-rich waters because it's so cold.
Yeah.
The colder the water, the more oxygen, and with that, the more life you have.
Elsewhere in the world, travellers' contact with whales is often in captivity, where they are kept for public entertainment. Globally, hundreds of whales are thought to live this way, but public appetite for holding these intelligent and social animals appears to be shifting. Just last year, Greenpeace drew attention to dozens of beluga whales and orcas that had been caught and kept in poor conditions in Russia, destined for entertainment parks in China. But in recent weeks, they were released after a public outcry. Fortunately, these whales had only been captive for a short time, so could cope with life back out at sea. But what happens when theme park owners agree to release their whales who are unable to fend for themselves out in the open ocean? So the next morning, I travelled to the south of the island and out to the Westman Islands, a short ferry ride off the mainland. I'd heard that here in Iceland, a new kind of sanctuary was being created.
Audrey, there's so many beautiful coves and little inlets around Iceland. Why this particular place?
It's a beautiful surrounding for them with the cliffs, kind of protecting them from the wind and the Icelandic weather, and then also having the water temperature more like the Arctic and subarctic where they would be found in the wild.
Two beluga whales called Little White and Little Grey will soon be the first to be released into the bay. They had until recently been performing at an entertainment park in China, but after the operators decided to end the practice, they tried to find a new home for the animals where they could live out their lives.
And what's the plan for tourists so that they're not too overwhelmed?
Yeah, so the plan with the tourists is to manage boat trips. We have a partner who will be bringing visitors out. They won't get out on these pontoons, but they'll be able to see them from a distance, sort of like a whale watching trip, and hear about the project and learn why Little White and Little Grey are here.
Little White and Little Grey were carefully flown on the long journey from China to Iceland, but they couldn't be released straight into the bay. They have for the last few months been acclimatising in the nearby Sea Life Centre to the waters here and working with handlers to learn how to take the final journey into the bay.
Oh my goodness. Wow, these are incredible.
Yeah.
Can I come down?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello! They're so graceful in the water, aren't they? What do you love most about them?
Beluga whales is a kind of friendly animals. They won't hurt you, and you can walk with them peacefully, and it's a great fun to walk with them.
They're beautiful, gentle giants.
Yeah.
So which is the naughty one?
Great.
This one? Yeah. Faces. Oh, wow.
Stand up. Go.
You're so soft. You're so soft. I like you. Oh. Come for a little exfoliation?
Yes, stay longer.
I'm open all day. Do you like this?
Stand your house now.
Next. Whoa.
This country's relationship with whales is complex, being one of just a few places in the world which still legally allows some hunting of the animals. But projects like this and the various whale watching experiences on offer are ways to encourage understanding and protection. For Little White and Little Grey, a new life awaits in the bay next year, but it still can't quite be total freedom.
So some critics say that the whales are effectively just going from one form of captivity to another form of captivity. What would you say to that?
I would say that this is an opportunity for them to have a more natural environment. They're not being asked to perform, they're not being asked to do shows. It's effectively retirement for them. It's an opportunity where they're still fed and cared for because they've never had to feed or take care of themselves, but they can have a more natural lifestyle. We feel like that's a really good first step for animals like Little White and Little Grey.
Would you like some more fish? Yum! I will give you... Oh, was that a burp? She keeps wanting more. Oh, if you insist. If you insist. There we go. Oh, there's another little burp.
Still to come on the travel show, why I'm sat in an abandoned theme park. Plus, we're getting creative with Frankfurters in Berlin and meet the women whose incredible journey took them on a grueling bike race across America. So don't go away. I'm in Friedrichshain in East Berlin. Now, for decades, this city has been a hub for artists and creatives, and I'm on my way to meet one who's got an unusual taste in interior design. Wow, look at this place. What is this all about?
cushions shaped as groceries.
Why?
I don't know, meat is such a strong thing, and this is something I can't understand because I don't like it. Kind of, I'm observing it, and
Okay.
it's kind of my question, what's about meat?
Sylvia has been selling her textile meats for 10 years. Have you ever had anybody come in here mistaking this for a real butcher's?
Of course! And I think this is hilarious.
So this is the sausage meat.
Yes.
So I've got to stuff all of that in this little thing.
You will be impressed how much fiber
Can you
fits.
do it first? Let me see.
Yeah.
Like my fingers just won't do what I'm telling them to do. Why are you laughing? Is that a good attempt?
Lumpy?
Too lumpy.
Look at this. This is not possible. Tie it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have your travel show sausages. My one looks rather inadequate compared to your sausage.
Yeah.
Up next, we meet two women who are part of a unique team that took on an incredible journey across America.
So Race Across America is 3,070 miles from the west coast of America to the east coast of America.
It was different kind of cycling to anything I'd ever done before.
So from California to Maryland, and it had to be completed in 9 days. It was an idea that I'd had in the back of my mind that I wanted to put a team together. I'd seen 2 teams of wounded, injured and sick guys do it, and seen that there'd been no females in that team and wondered why not. There was 8 riders, all who've had different health challenges, be that physical or psychological or both. Half of the team were civilian and half of them were military.
I met Sally through some Invictus training camps. The one main concern I had was the fact that I'm visually impaired. I had a brain injury when I was injured in the army quite some time ago now, in 1996. So for me to be cycling on the other side of the road when I'm completely blind to the left was always going to be something I'd never done, and quite frankly didn't really know how that was going to go.
We all went over the start line together. What then had to happen was, as a non-stop race, the team of 8 riders broke down into 2 pods. So there was 4 people in each pod and the support crew. The first team carried on cycling for a 9-hour period. So within that 9 hours, every 20 minutes, we would change riders. The other pod in that time had moved forward and they were having to get their rest in, which is quite difficult when you've just had the adrenaline of the start and to suddenly then go, right, you need to go to sleep.
I can remember seeing a lot of road, to be honest. When you're cycling, you're concentrating on cycling as fast as you can. Looking up is not necessarily something you do, and I looked up and I'm so glad I did.
We were the pod that was very, very fortunate to cycle through Monument Valley. A lot of colour, a lot of red rock formations that just stand in this vast array of countryside. It's almost indescribable.
I had never done any proper actual cycling at night, so I was very apprehensive given that I couldn't see to the left. And it was something I had always avoided doing because I didn't think I could do it, and probably because I was quite frightened actually. Well done, mate. See you later. Given that you couldn't see anything else, you could see if there was a hazard coming towards you because you would see lights. So it was really peaceful because there weren't many people around, and actually quite easy. Yeah, it was good. Didn't realise you had a camera in my face.
Well done, good stuff.
There'd been a lot of doubt in everybody's mind. There's often times when you wonder if you can carry on because things are hurting. And for me, I look back and reflect on the time when my depression was at its worst, when I didn't think there was any reason to live. And yeah, I look back to that time and think this isn't as difficult as that to try and overcome.
The race finished in Annapolis, Maryland. 8 of us cycled down the road and everybody's cheering at driving past. I am incredibly proud to have been able to have had an opportunity to take part in such an extreme event. It has forced me to sort of go out of my comfort zone, I suppose.
We were able to achieve something really quite incredible, and hopefully others will be able to look back on what we've achieved and inspire them to go and take on their own race across America.
This past month has marked 30 years since the fall of the Berlin Wall, an event that brought down a government, reunited families, and marked a change in fortunes for one very strange amusement park. So I've come over to Spree Park, which is in the southeast of Berlin. It's about 30 minutes drive from the city centre. And my first impression is they absolutely don't want you to get in. It's totally fenced off. The park shut its gates to the public in 2001. Yep. Okay. And since then, nature has slowly reclaimed the rides and attractions. It just feels like something horrible has happened. I feel like I'm the last person left in a nuclear wasteland. Everything is falling apart in this place. And every now and again, you just get these mad sounds in the distance. So spooky. The rides haven't run for almost 20 years. But people continue to be drawn here.
On windy days, you have the Ferris wheel behind us there. The wind actually turns the Ferris wheel and makes this kind of whistling noise. It's like something from a David Lynch film.
Oh man, look at this.
Yeah,
That's
just another kind of bizarre attraction here.
I can see your eyes lighting up looking at it.
Yeah.
Does it remind you of the first time when you came here?
Yeah, I mean, first time was 2009, and it was just like a wonderland, really. When something is abandoned, something didn't work out, something happened. And I guess for me, I'm very interested in knowing what happened exactly, what went wrong.
The park opened 50 years ago in 1969 in the communist part of Berlin. Back then, it was the VEB Kulturpark Plantewald, and up to 1.5 million East Germans came here each year. But then the wall fell and travel restrictions were lifted. The park was bought, renamed, and had some new rides installed, but it struggled to keep up with its bigger, flashier competitors in the West.
With Spree Park, there was this crazy story with the family involved, the Witte family, and they had to close it down. The family, Norbert Witte, took some of the attractions and moved to Peru and tried to open up a fun park there. The story takes a turn when he tried to smuggle cocaine back.
Wow.
In one of the rides. In the Flying Carpet was the name of this ride. From the moment I came in here first to everything that happened after that was just something, everything became more and more bizarre the more you looked into it. And this story isn't over.
That's what we got here. That's one of the cars of the former rides. It was called the Monte Carlo Drive, where people could sit inside and they were pulled on a string over tracks. And we have many of these swans. There was a swan ride.
This warehouse holds some of the surviving rides.
It's unusual. When you see it in this context, it actually feels quite creepy.
The city brought back the site in 2014 and has asked Tim's company to restore it.
We want to keep the park as it is to a big certain extent, and we want to put a new layer on top of it, something that evolves around arts and culture and the natural heritage that has developed here since the place was abandoned.
A modern take on what the Spree Park used to be.
Yeah, kind of. So it's not going to be an amusement park anymore, you cannot go on all the rides anymore, but we will define new uses for the rides. For example, a roller coaster could be something like a treetop tail.
The Spree Park is very dear to people here in Berlin and in Germany, and it holds a lot of memories. So you've got a big responsibility.
It feels kind of heavy, to be honest. I mean, as you say, it's really in the mindset, especially of people from the GDR. This is a very, very important place. That is why we want to keep the cultural and historical heritage that we found.
And if you want a last look at the Spree Park before its big restoration, guided tours and open days are listed on the Grün Berlin website.
Well, sadly, that's it from us this week. Join us next week when...
Carmen is in the world's capital of plastic surgery, Seoul, to explore the booming South Korean beauty market, where she goes for a no-holds-barred consultation.
The cheeks can be lifted. It is facelift.
Oh my gosh, I need a facelift?
A little lift.
But for now, from me, Adia Deputan, and all the Travel Show team here in Spree Park, it's goodbye.